welcome everyone. If this is your very, very first time listening to this podcast, congratulations. We're so happy that you are here. Your life is about to be changed forever. Not really, but maybe, you never know. Maybe there's something that you're about to listen to that's going to hit you really hard and you're going to go down a completely different path in life. Thank you to all of our longtime listeners and fans of the podcast. Thank you for subscribing and sharing and doing all of those kind of different things. We ask one thing of you, and that's it. The only thing we require from you, the listener, is share it. Just share the podcast with somebody. And the easiest way to do that is say, hey man, or woman, or person, hey person, have you heard of this podcast? Go listen. They do great things. I love it. That's all you got to do. Just share it. energieslovepodcast.com. And we talk about Barb every now and then. Barb is our number one fan. You know what Barb did? Barb went to our website, and down at the bottom, there's a donate button, and Barb is now sending us $10 every month. Thank you, Barb. But if you want to be like Barb and donate and help support the podcast, you can do the same thing. It's super easy. Go to the website, click the donate button, and you can either have $5 or $1 or $3 or $400, however much you want to give us. We will happily take all of it and push it right back into the podcast. Even if you don't want to donate, that's okay. You can still listen, and we appreciate all the support. So before we get to the episode that you're about to listen to, October 4th through the 6th is the Brave Men Dare experience here in Utah. It's a wonderful opportunity for men to get together and not just hang out, not just have a guys' weekend, but really slow down and start connection with themselves, with what they're feeling, with what they want, with other men. All of these things are going to take place. Or we're excited for a bunch of different reasons, but one of them is really just getting the opportunity to provide this for you. So if you're listening to this and you want to learn more, there's plenty of places you can do that, like bravemendare.com. If you have questions about what the experience really is, feel free to reach out and hit me up. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And if you're wondering, like, is this for me? Isn't this for me? Kind of, I want to go do this thing. I don't know. My encouragement is to just come experience what it is. There's probably something that is pushing you towards it, or maybe steering you in that direction. And this is an opportunity for you to potentially have a life-changing experience over the course of the weekend. That's how strong this experience can be. A bunch of men coming together, connecting, eating great food in the mountains of Utah, some cold water immersion, some breath work, slowing down, all sorts of different things. Also, we tried to make this thing as affordable as possible. A lot of times when you find these experiences, whatever they're at, right? Whether it's a yoga retreat or a weekend workshop, whatever it may be, they're kind of expensive. We tried to keep this one as reasonable as possible so that you could come. Also, right now, for the rest of the month of August, we have early bird pricing. So you get to save some cash if you sign up during the month of August. All your lodging, all your meals, and the entire experience is all just one easy price. So come check it out. bravemendare.com, October 4th through the 6th. So here we go. Brand new episode, month of August. Steph and I hit upon what our stretches are, or our practices, or our Tom Cruises. We haven't yet decided. It's definitely not going to be Tom Cruises, but we don't know what we're going to call them quite yet. But we're sharing what it is that we're going to be doing, as well as always, just some in-depth, in the weeds, as they say, conversations about all sorts of different things. So you guys are going to enjoy. I promise you. And we appreciate the feedback that we've been getting. Thank you for those people that have reached out and let us know what your stretches are as well. That's always fun to hear that. If you want to send us a message, go to the website, click on the contact link button, tab, whatever you call it, and hit us up. Also, you can go follow us wherever people follow people, except like at Walmart. Don't follow me at Walmart. That's going to be weird. And for now, sit back and relax and enjoy this wonderful episode of the Energy is Love podcast with Steph and Craig. Here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
You're good.
I'm sure. I yawned.
You're good.
I tried to make the quietest yawn in the world. Well, hello.
Hello.
I just got sleepy.
Did you? It's because we're back in the bedroom.
Might be it. I'm like, oh, there's our comfy bed. Look how big and welcoming it is.
This is going to sound really funny for the people listening.
You can play with.
I think it was last week when I was playing with your balls. Do you remember when we were laying in bed and I was playing with your balls? They're little massage balls that she uses to rub some knots out and things like that. But that totally reminded me of Bowie in Labyrinth, right? And now this one I need to get super good with because this is even more of like what his balls that he was playing with in Labyrinth.
It was a single ball. So you played with my balls and you're playing with your ball.
So I'll probably fuck around with this while we record.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful. I'm going to take a picture so then we can post it and then people can be like, what are the balls that they're playing with? Or Craig's playing with his ball. There we go.
Are you going to?
Am I going to what?
Give me some credit.
Yeah. For my balls?
No, like.
For this big, beautiful ball of.
I got you that big, beautiful ball.
Do you remember where you got it?
I've got two places in my two possibilities. It was a while ago. You don't play with any of the fun trinkets that I purchased for you, which
That's
you have a ton
true.
over there that I bought for you. I can't remember if it was a store. Do you want me to wait for the garbage truck?
Sure. You can wait for the garbage truck.
Pause. I'm going to count myself back into because I know you love that. Okay, go. 3, 2,
1.
Or
Back on.
at Terry's.
Do you remember?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I remember hearing about it and
Holy cow, I totally spaced that. That's a funny. That was a long time ago.
it was a while ago. I don't remember who it was, but
I remember who it
do
was. Yeah, I think I remember who it was. But there was an episode of the podcast way, way, way back in the day, one of the really early episodes, and I was interviewing this woman, and she would mess up what she was trying to say, and then she, on her own, without any prompting or like instruction from me at all, she would be like, okay, hold on, sorry. And then she'd like sit there in silence for a minute, and then she'd go, 3, 2, 1. And then she'd go back and start talking about whatever it was that she was talking about. And she didn't inform me what this was. She didn't like give me a heads up and say, hey, I'm going to do this thing. And so
you're a professional. She's counting back in.
Yeah,
Cut!
And it was so fun to watch in person and observe. So, yeah, we will not be doing that.
It's fun though. I like watching your eyebrows shoot really high up when I do that. It's funny.
3, 2, 1, and go. It's like the Wayne's World.
Party time.
No, where like where they're counting them in and they keep like
twin the
3, 2, 1. Stop moving your mouth. Stop making the noise.
So I think
Do you remember where you got my big ball?
I said after I counted in, it was either this. I'm pretty sure it was Terry. I think I got it from Terry because a lot of the things that you get that I buy for you are things that I absolutely fall in love with, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I want it so bad. Craig will love this, and it goes to you. So pretty sure it was Terry because Terry has the good stuff. But
what are the healing properties of citrine, my dear?
Healing properties. I know that it works with personal empowerment and it helps build in your sense of self. I know it works with your solar plex chakra. And then I'm sorry, but that's all personal power is where I'm at right now with it. So it helps to build that. And there's so many more. Oh, it also is abundance. It brings abundance, baby.
So it's kind of funny that I picked it up right now, today.
Picked up your ball. And look where you're holding it.
Yeah.
Right at your solar plex, not at your jugglies.
Not at my jugglies.
I like your juggle balls. It's okay. I just embarrassed myself. So, yeah, that's all I got for right now, though.
That's all you got for right now. Well, podcast is over.
No,
We're good.
I mean,
Thank you.
with the properties.
Yeah,
I
with
have
the
to look.
citrine.
My brain isn't.
It's big and beautiful. I like it.
Yes, it is.
Stretches.
Stretches or pushes.
Yeah, practices.
I like push.
You like pushes?
I don't know, because I feel like it's
We've been
I don't
trying
know,
to come up.
something,
We've
yeah.
been trying to come up with a new phrase, terminology for our stretches each month. Something that like resonates a little bit more. Something that makes a little bit more sense for us, even though it's just a silly word. It doesn't matter what we call it. Loaf of breads. We call it loaf of breads.
I've got Tom Cruise in my head, or Top Gun. I'm like feeling like going into the danger zone. We can call them danger zoners.
Danger zoners. We could just call them Tom Cruises.
No. Then I'm not going to want to play with them anymore.
What? I like practices.
Yeah.
Yeah, our monthly practices. But then that sounds weird too now that I say it like that.
Play practices.
Regardless, how do you feel like you did on your July practice stretch push, Tom Cruise?
Now I got I've got weird songs just popping in my head because it was a danger zone, and now I've got Timberlake, Junkie for Your Love. Do you remember what
Junkie.
Asher would sing when he was little?
What would he say?
He couldn't hear it right, so he thought he was saying, "I'm chunky for your love."
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just a chunky for your love. It was awesome. What was your question?
The last few episodes, we sit here and we get all sorts of squirrely for like 20 minutes before we actually settle into what it is that we're talking about.
It's because I'm nervous that this cup of coffee is almost gone and there's not more. Like, this is it.
Yeah, but we've had a lot this morning already.
You've had a lot.
I only had like half a cup before you got up.
That's not true. The coffee pot was almost halfway gone.
No, it wasn't.
It was a quarter of the way gone, which is almost halfway.
Which is almost one full cup.
Oh, my belly. So, yeah. And then you've had, your cup holds more than mine.
That's what.
So when
I do have a bigger cup.
you have a bigger cup. So when we pour, it's like, you get the little cup, so your cup's full. But it does hold a lot. Okay.
You're
moving
cute.
on. I don't think I'm cute. I think I'm tired and uncomfortable.
You slept well last night, though, yeah?
I did. Last night was a better night. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
I went to sleep pretty. I don't even
Happily.
remember falling asleep. I think when it was decided that now we were going to sleep, it was like, good night.
Do you want to tell the listeners what put you to sleep last night?
Multiple orgasms.
Nice.
Did you want me to really say it?
That's super awesome.
You didn't
Yeah, I'm
expect me
super
to
happy
really
for you.
I'm super happy.
That's
Happy
great. You
for
had
me
multiple
too.
orgasms
Yeah,
right before
they were
bed.
not self-induced. So thank you.
Okay.
You didn't
Let's
expect
get
me.
focused.
Do you don't want to talk about orgasms anymore?
We can definitely talk about orgasms. That's totally fine. Do you want to talk about your orgasms from last night or your journey with orgasms throughout your life? Do you want to talk about the power of the orgasm?
You win. I was trying to. Yes, I do want to talk about the power of the orgasm.
Let's do it.
I saw this amazing toy online that Tova Lee was talking about, and I want it.
That who was talking about?
I don't know if I'm saying her name right.
I definitely don't think you are. But say it again.
Well, I'm not going to.
Tova Lee?
I think so.
Who is this person?
She's this. I think she's British. Might be from the UK. Might be the same thing. I'm sorry. Demographics. I'm super great at. She's like a comedian / inspirational. She tells the truth, and it's funny. She's
a truth teller.
She's a truth teller, and she's doing like little tour things. She's got a documentary on Prime. What?
I'm just curious. I'm listening. This woman is getting...
I started watching it on Prime, but I got busy, so I have to finish it. But I show you her Instagram stuff where she does those like funny spoofs where you
she
have the
tries to-
gorgeous
Oh, yeah. She recreates
celebrities.
the...
And then she's like, reality, this is what it looks like. She does it. Yeah. So she's funny and honest and hilarious.
And she's going on tour?
It's around the UK. She's not coming over here.
We should go on tour.
We should go on tour. We do. We went on tour to Colorado and did a podcast. We do little tours.
We should do like tours where people come and watch us instead of just tours where we record in Airbnbs.
Do you think somebody's going to want to watch like us like hanging around a bed and...
I don't want to go on that type of tour.
Wait, no, I'm just like, this is how we record.
I think there will definitely be people that would want to watch us hanging around a bed, but those are the creep. Like, we don't want those people watching us.
Don't kink shame. It's not creepy.
Kink shame. No, we should totally go on tour.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When should we do it? Can we drive cross country? Can we go all the way to the East Coast?
Yeah, we could, but we won't.
Why?
Because I hate the East Coast.
Well,
it's too far away.
I'm sorry. There are some of us that have never been, just because you have been many times.
Do you realize that would be like a long drive?
I didn't want to take the kids.
Okay, then yes, we can definitely
it's too
go to
late
the
now.
East Coast.
You let me know. No.
Where could we go on tour? Where should we go on tour?
I don't know. My ideas are stupid. Why don't you tell me where you want to go?
We should totally take the podcast on tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like find venues where we could go and record and then find people to come and be on the podcast.
Okay, so I'm going to get online and I'm going to get Brandy Carlisle's tour dates and where she's going to the festival, and we're just going to follow her. And that's what we'll do. So we get to see her concerts continually, and we'll do podcasts at her and I won't be crying anymore because I think I've got a hold of that. So
that's very cute that you think you won't be crying.
No, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
If you would like to see us on tour next year,
we should.
Well, let's do one locally first to see if actually people come to watch us record.
Oh, I thought we were just going to do it. And then if people gathered around to see what we were doing or talk, then they did. Like going to, like I was visioning going to like festivals or Burning Mans and just like setting up shop and just recording. And if people, and like letting people know. And then if they show up, cool. If they don't, whatever, we're sitting there talking. Or if people that have never heard of the podcast are like, what are they doing?
Oh, we could totally do that.
That's what I thought. So what do you mean? You like,
I mean, like, let's find a venue and record a live episode of the podcast.
Special guest, Energy is Love podcast?
Yeah.
Watch a live recording of the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that would be cool too.
No, I like your podcasting in the park idea much better. We can just throw out the dates. We will be in Missoula, Montana, August 18th.
We're not really. Or are we? No, we can't.
We're
School
definitely not.
starts
2020, August 18th,
maybe.
2020.
Well, we are stretching big for next year. We're going to go a state over, so.
That would be, it's not a state over.
Okay, it's two
Montana's
states
very
over.
far away. That would be cool though. We'll kick that idea around. That would be fun.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
Okay. Back to balls and orgasms.
Well. And when they work together, they work together.
I had a bunch of stuff this week in my head that was coming up that I wanted to talk about.
I'm guessing it was about sex.
Mm-mm.
Balls and orgasms.
No, definitely not.
What was it about?
I don't remember.
What am I supposed to do with that?
I did really good at writing them down.
Was it, okay.
And remembering them so that we could talk about them on the podcast.
I did too. I had stuff, and I brought my little journal that I've been journaling in, my little planner journal thingy, and trying to see, because there was stuff I thought, oh, it'd be cool to talk about this. This was really intense. And then I don't know.
Now you don't want to talk about those things?
Well, I don't know.
I don't either.
So the same thing. So I brought that in here and I'm like, hey, that's pretty personal right there.
Oh, well, we never talk about personal things on this
surface
podcast.
only. Like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the top coat of the nail polish. We're not even talking about the base color here.
Nail polish. So I flew to Mississippi this week.
That seriously triggered something?
It did trigger something.
Okay, let's
I
do
flew to
this.
Mississippi this week.
You did?
And I had a layover in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was in Dallas and I'm getting on the plane, it because they have big planes, right? And then they have smaller planes, and then they have tiny planes, like big, medium, small. So to Dallas, I took a big plane, and then from Dallas to Mississippi, I took a medium plane. So we're getting on the medium plane, and there's a person in front of me, I'm trying to remember how this all played out now. This isn't a great story, by the way, but it's kind of interesting. So somebody on the medium plane had to come off and drop their bag because their bag wouldn't fit on the medium plane. Mm-hmm. So everybody was like backing up, which is always like super funny. It's like trying to get cows to go in reverse. They're like, what do we do? And then they come, so they drop their bag and then they go back on. So now I'm behind this person and I looked down and I realized that they had their fingernails or their toenails painted.
That's freaks.
Well, no, this person would probably identify as trans.
Okay.
My guess would be that they would probably just identify as trans. We'll just leave it as that.
Okay.
So I just made note of their toes for whatever reason. At one point I looked down, they had sandals on, and I saw that they had painted nails. And then I was in Mississippi for 2 or 3 days and then fly home back to the airport. Guess who I sit next to?
Seriously?
Person with painted toenails. Same person. Had to have been the same person.
You're right, because I'm going to leave that alone.
It had to be it was the same person.
Yeah?
Yeah. Initially, I'm like, I think that's that same person. And then I'm like, no, that'd be way crazy. Because it was weird enough that the whole painted toenails doesn't have anything to do with it. But the part that was weird was that for whatever reason, we were both in Mississippi for the same amount of time and flying back to Dallas. You know, they didn't, I didn't see them on the flight home to Utah, but.
I think that's a sign that you're flying way too much.
I definitely fly way too much.
When you're like hitting the carpool lanes with flyers, like maybe it's time for you to be home a little more.
Yeah. But isn't that funny?
Yeah.
You're not finding it very funny.
No, I was going to make fun. Like, I don't know. I thought we were going to go funny. And then it's like, oh, that's a lot of flying.
No, it is funny. It's
but
like, it's just funny that.
Talk about a woman with her toenails painted.
Yeah. No,
so
just a person. We'll just say a person with their toenails painted. Yeah.
With their toenails painted.
I don't know how my guess is that they would probably identify as male.
Yeah.
But.
Well, you used to walk around with your toenails painted all the time.
Yeah.
Because, maybe he's got daughters.
Very much so. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I'm guessing the attire told you that you may find a better pronoun.
Yeah, I didn't even bother. I was actually going to say something to them. Because literally I sat next to them on the flight and I was going to say something like, hey, didn't you fly here on Monday?
That sounds like a pickup line.
It would have been creepy, right?
It depends. Like, unless you were trying to pick up the person, but like otherwise, yeah. No, it sounds like a pickup line.
Does it?
Like, hey, don't I know you?
Hey,
I've seen you here before.
Don't you come here often?
Hey, like we should share an Uber.
We should share a plane back to Dallas. You going to Dallas? I'm going to Dallas. I just thought it was interesting.
I don't know. I'm awkward, so I probably either would have just stared at him weird the whole time, or I would have said something and came off completely dorky.
Yeah.
So maybe the fact that you didn't was the best bet. So I'm like, hi, I think we're friends.
I think we're supposed to be best friends.
Hello. How are you? Oh my God.
Go.
You said something so funny last night. It cracked me up.
Yes, I did.
So you're just like, of course. We were watching a movie with Asher last night. You're like, where is this going?
I'm trying to remember what I said.
And Ian McShane came
on
the TV. And Asher's like, hey, don't you know him? And did he say, don't you know him, or didn't you meet him?
Yeah, I don't remember which one he said.
And you're like, yeah, the picture of him and I are up on the cupboard. And that's Uncle Ian right there. It made me laugh so hard. I love it. Yeah. And I'm not going to get into any why it's funny. I'm just going to move on.
Okay.
Let him know.
No Uncle backstory Ian, to that. No. Yeah.
Unless you want to.
Uncle Ian McShane. Mm-hmm. So we had Mikey on the podcast last week. How did you feel after that episode?
How did I feel after that episode? Like we were about to get into an ice bath.
Which we did.
And then we did. And it was good.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I'm happy because I've never had a chance to talk to him before and get to know him. So that was something actually did come up that I was going to bring up on the podcast or just in general. But I was super happy that I got to know him because I was nervous. You know, I'm he's awkward too, apparently. So that works. So, but I'm nervous about like really getting to know people when it's, I don't know. It's either I go into the environment like ready to mingle or I go into it like, my name is Stephanie. I fumble and I fall and I say dumb things and I'm just so awkward. I have so much. It's really hard for me to meet new people and keep things going. And then if I have anyways, so I was nervous because he means a lot to you. He's a good friend. And it went so well with Steven that I was like, So it turns out you have pretty awesome friends.
I do.
So
if you're one of my friends, you can come on the podcast.
So I like these guys. It was just neat. He made me think a lot, and I liked the depth of the conversation that he was willing to get to and that we had. And I hope there's more conversations that we can have because he's a pretty neat guy. And then afterward, I started feeling all these things. I was like, oh, I didn't notice that at the time. But things started popping up. And I'm like, hey, you should talk about this dude, And then also popped up things in me. I don't know.
Yeah. So what's one of the things that popped up for you?
First of it was not the same level that he had, but things that I'm ashamed of myself that I hide and I try to pretend aren't there. And false I love yous. Lies. I love you lies. And,
what do you mean by that?
I think saying I love you is a powerful thing. And, obviously it's known that people say I love you and they're lying. I don't like to do that.
Newsflash.
I like my love yous to mean something. And so when I say I love you to people, I like it to mean something. And he said something about you. He called you out on something that I say. And no, I'm crazy. It doesn't have any validation with me. And they called you out on it in group. And he was like, this is what you're doing. And I'm like, I know, that's what he does. And he's like, knock it off. And then you did. I'm like, that's awesome. So that kind of sounds like I'm being mean. Anyway, so I looked at him. I'm like, I love you. Oh my God, I love you. And it was like, oh, no, I don't love you. He's a great person and I have love for him as a person, whatever. But I don't love him. I don't know him enough to love him. But after I said that, and I was just like, oh, that felt wrong. I don't like that. I was like, I love that you said that. I love what you just said. I love that you said that. So I still I have compassion. It's not that I don't I feel like it's I don't like him. That's not it. I just don't. I don't have an overflowing abundance of love for him. Not that I wouldn't. I just met him. I think he's great. But I think I love you was a little too strong. Which I don't overthink things. So this is fine. And I think how many times has that. And then when you say something when you say I love you or something like that, then you kind of have that weird feeling because it's not true. And then it almost takes away the power of your saying I love you to somebody because it's been weakened. And then it also diminishes the way that you receive somebody saying I love you to you because you know that it has faults in yourself. So even while it wasn't malicious, I wasn't it's okay, you can trust me. I love you. It's safe. It wasn't that at all. But there still wasn't 100% truth in it. Enough that it hit my stomach ooh, that was weird. What is that? And so I thought about that. And I'm going to try and have awareness of that and not profess my love to somebody because they said something that I really liked. Oh, I like that. I love you. Now, Brandy Carlisle, I love you. I mean that. However, So I'm going to watch that. And like, I love that you said that, which was 100% true. And I feel that when I say it, that is, I love that you said that. I love what you said. I like you a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love what you said.
Yeah. That's good distinction.
Kind of
good distinction and good awareness there.
Yeah.
Are you feeling weird now?
A little bit, but I went like all...
Did that stick in your crawl for a few days?
It did. It was intense. And I've had a few other things that like have really been...
Crawling up your crawl.
Crawling up my crawl. My crawl is occupied. That sounds really gross. Just kidding. It's vacant. Except for these crystal balls. It's,
he really, first off, so we'll eventually get around to talking about what we're doing for August in our Tom Cruises.
That's going to stick. We need to shift it now before that sticks.
Well, what do you want to call them?
Well, continue with what you were saying, but we need to shift it before they're called Tom Cruises. So what were you saying?
My brain got squirreled down. I'm trying to think of what we're going to call them. No, I know what I was going to say or what I was saying. He, so he helped formulate what I was going to be doing for the month of August for my practice, right? For my stretching practice.
I'm so grateful. I love that he did that.
Yeah.
And that he had that awareness.
Yeah. And I'm excited too. So, but he also had a bunch of other things that, not like him, I love you, Mike. It's not like you did this, but just the conversation and going back and listening to it again to edit it and everything like that.
He's a sparker.
He is a sparker. He's a little fire plug. I don't know what a fire plug is.
I don't either, but I have a visual that is not what you intended.
He's a little spark plug. No, there was a lot of stuff. And I think that I got super self-conscious and nervous that the way that I was speaking about things and the, all too often I just speak too bluntly and don't consider how my words are going to land. And we talked about this a little bit too, you and I think that that's a good thing. And it's also a bad thing because I never, ever, ever, ever want to offend people. Like even when there's somebody that I really want to offend and I'm really like angry at them, I don't really want to offend them. Like I don't want to fucking piss somebody off. Do you know what I mean? I never want to upset somebody or offend somebody. And there's a big part of it that like, I always want people to like me and all those kind of different variables and factors as well. But I also just don't want to hurt people's feelings. I don't want to cause people distress or frustration or anger, right? Mm-hmm. So I never want to hurt somebody's feelings or never want to upset somebody. And it's like my brain goes too fast and I don't consider the things that I'm saying and how they're going to affect people. And I also like to think that I'm so above like being offended, right? Where it doesn't matter what somebody says, that it's not going to upset me or offend me or anything like that. And so I think that everybody else should have that same thick skin or that same approach. And that's just not the case on both sides. Like I definitely get offended. I get hurt feelings by things that people say. And do you know what I mean? So that was one thing. You got to help me here, babe.
I got to help you? Okay. I think a part that you're leaving out is something that you do that in the moment, it infuriates me. It drives me crazy. But afterwards, it is such a brave thing to do and a beneficial thing to do.
bravemendare.com.
Yeah. You do that thing where you play the devil's advocate. And I usually don't notice it till like I'm either fired up, which points out where some of my passions are, or it makes me think about things in another way. It just is it's almost like a freedom rocker kind of thing. Because when you're speaking on something and you're very focused and you're just like barreling down that road, and then you come in with that blind side of the devil's advocate over here, you look. So it's like your vision opens, even if it doesn't like the area that it's looking at. So when you play the devil's advocate, it feels like it just gives you like these little sparks, and whether like it doesn't change my mind, but it gives my mind the ability to open and look at things for other perspectives and to see where other people are coming from. Because there are people that have hate intentions and that have destruction intentions, but usually it is not the case. That's just the information they have. So when they are coming that way with information that I don't agree with and that I think is not helpful, like that's like trying to, like, I guess, I don't know any better way to say it. I'm not trying to be all like, oh, you have to honor everyone and where they are, but totally, like, honor where they are. Like, that's the information they have. That's what they feel inside. They're not trying to be hurtful, but that just may be where they're coming from. So I don't know. So when you play the devil's advocate, it's frustrating in the moment. And then it's like, oh. And then when I have the awareness that you're doing that, not only does my like juices kind of mellow out a little bit, but then it allows me to kind of think of it in a broader sense. And I can look at it from many different angles. So it's cool. It's super cool that you do that. I don't want you to do it all the time because sometimes
I think it's that devil's
it's
advocate part, that part that I do, that thing that I do, that I'm fearful of, because I think that if somebody's tuning in and listening, right, like if you fast forward and suddenly you're coming across a part of the episode where I'm talking about like retards and idiots, and
see, they just turned it off right there.
Yeah. That's the part that I think I'm worried about, where people that don't really know me, or people that are trying to,
is this podcast for me?
Yeah, or not. I don't even care about that as much, but like, I'm trying to think what I do care about in this moment, because like, if you don't want to listen to the podcast, that's fine. I don't care. If you tune in and you're like, this is dumb, and then you tune out, like, wonderful. I don't care.
Is it that you don't want them to like really like the podcast and benefit from it, but not hear it because they tune out on that one part?
Gosh, I'm trying to think. I mean, it all really, as I like really start to think about it, like it just honestly goes back to that thing where I want people to like me. Do you know what I mean? And I also I do want people to listen to the podcast, because I think that we put out good information. You know, I mean, it's not like we're telling you how to change the oil in your car.
Talking about the balls that we play with, that is some...
It's great information.
Right? Like
no, I think
needed to be put out there.
I think we put out really good stuff.
I think we put out honesty.
I do too. Honesty and truth and vulnerability and, you know, rawness, that I think is very important to put out there, and that we should all have more of it in our lives, as well as more of it in media and entertainment and the shit that we listen to and watch and follow and observe and all that kind of stuff. I'm so like, I think about this more and more and more and more. Here I go with my tangent. I'm getting on my tangent boat.
I'm putting on my shoes.
You're going to need some like waders, not shoes, like some big hip waders, because we're about to get into it.
Let's do it.
Oh my God, my brain is so squirrely right now. I'm going to dreams right now. Dreams are coming back in my head. Okay. Where am I? I'm about to talk about the fake and falseness of shit.
Yeah, I think
I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like how fake and like glossed over things are. Okay. And I don't mean in the sense of like we, you know, yada, yada, yada things and gloss over things. I mean in the way that things are painted and formulaic and presented that aren't genuine and true.
It goes both ways though. It's like over happy painted, and then it's over destructive painted. So things they can be like, no?
Yes. But no, I'm thinking like that's, that's one part of the spectrum. That's one part of the problem, or that I see as a problem, right? Where, but it's everything. I don't like listening to podcasts that are overproduced. I don't like listening to podcasts that have,
I was way off.
where they have we definitely have a quote unquote, a persona that we bring to the podcast, right? And we're not like we're Steph and Craig on this podcast.
Yeah.
But we're pretty close to this in real life.
Yeah.
For the most part. There's some things that we don't talk about on the podcast and that we don't share on the podcast because we don't fucking need to. Right? But at the same time, we talk about a lot of things, and it's not really like I don't have my, hey, Stephanie.
Oh, God.
Are you ready? Here we go
Yes.
again. Let's, what's the topic for the new episode today of the podcast? Are we talking about the heart chakra? Wonderful. Tell me about your heart chakra. Yeah, fuck off. I don't care. I don't care about that shit. I don't want to listen to that shit anymore.
Yeah.
And it's in every arena that you look at, right?
You totally told me to tell you about the properties of the ball, and I'm talking about your solar plex chakra.
You
That's
did.
actually genuinely me, not.
It is, and it's also not like, well, the energy that stems from the citrine really resonates and connects with you're like, I think it's like your solar plexus, and I know it's got a lot of this in there and a lot of that, and like that's genuine and honest, as opposed to, I love the healing energy of the citrine because it really beautifully heals the solar plexus. And if you want to connect with abundance for the... Oh my God, shut the fuck up.
But it's okay.
It's true.
Yeah.
But it's the way that we're presenting it.
So we have good tone.
It's not just tone, it's the way we're
Fluctuation.
presenting information.
I'm just teasing. I'm
Right.
being a devil's advocate.
That's the big thing that I'm so done with. I'm done with the way that things are being presented and that we are supposed to receive them. And if you aren't presenting something this way, then you're not real, or you're not valid, or you're not worth it, or, like here comes another garbage truck. I'm so tired of that stuff.
Yeah.
When I look at social media, when I look at movies, even, film, anything that we're taking in, politics is really big right now because we've got a presidential campaign firing up and next year an election. And looking at all of those people running for the Democratic nomination right now, go fuck yourselves.
Oh.
Like they're all presenting the same formulaic, this is what it's supposed to look like, this is how it's supposed to look, this is the answers that I'm supposed to give, all of this stuff, right? And that's one of the reasons why he stood out so much in 2016 when he ran for president, Mr. Donald J. Trump, who I'm a huge fan of.
Okay.
He's my president.
Oh, God.
But I think that's one of the reasons why he stood out, was because obviously he didn't do anything the way that it had ever been done before. And
He still played to the electoral college. That's what he did.
Electoral.
He hit whatever. He played to that fake university.
Yeah.
Get it? College. Yeah. Anyways, he hit those swing states. Like he was bold. Yes, but he didn't care. Like he knows the system. He knows the system, and a lot of them, they play the game of what's going to get the votes. It's not. Every time you look at me, every time I go to say something is funky right now. I don't know what shifted, but the last time I went to talk, I was saying something and I had like a point that I was going to make. And then my voice completely goes away. Like I feel like shit right now.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know what happened, but I was going to say it before and it just happened then. Or as soon as I start to talk, I think you shut up.
Okay.
I don't like that. So like, I don't even know if I can keep going because it hit so strong that time.
Well, thank you for bringing awareness to it. Let's slow down.
Can I hold the fucking citrine
You
ball
can.
or something? I'm just
gonna
kidding.
roll
I don't
over
want to touch it.
I don't want to
I
touch
don't
it.
want to touch it right now.
Grab another ball that you want to touch.
Come here.
Grab some of your stuff. Do you want?
No,
I've got a
I say
baseball.
you come here. Like I hold your balls. I'll feel better. Just kidding.
Let's connect, baby.
I don't know. Like I don't feel good.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want to speak to it some more?
I kind of wish I would have when it hit the first time. I don't remember what I was saying, but I just stopped. Like my voice completely goes away.
Well, when you talk, I listen and I don't respond or speak, right?
No, I don't know. It's not something you did.
I know.
I was very sensitive to the way you were looking at me, but you weren't looking at me like you're dumb.
Yeah, I'm very conscious during the podcast to not have my
Do I do that?
No, you don't.
Okay.
But so I'm very quiet while you're talking.
Yeah, you didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
This isn't where like, Craig, you made me feel uncomfortable.
You're just feeling uncomfortable right now.
Holy shit, like twice. And now this one's big. I don't know what I'm just like, I feel like I'm panicking.
Well, you want to breathe a little bit?
Should we do some breath work on the that? No, I feel really stupid right now, actually, because I like.
What are you embarrassed about?
That I had that moment. That week, my mouth's dry too. That I had that. That I admitted that, and then that was right there, and then I didn't just, because that's happened before. But usually, what I do is I like pull back and tell you, like, I need to stop for a minute. I don't have a public meltdown because it's public.
Well, you're definitely not melting down either.
Yeah, because I feel like my throat's closing.
Can't breathe. Oxygen.
Oh.
No, you're not melting down. You're fine. You're okay. We're right here.
I'm like seriously about to cry. It's getting worse. I don't know what's happening.
You're addressing it and looking at it. Mm-hmm. Well, do you want me to continue to talk?
What were you
saying? I was talking about Trump and politics.
God, well, that's probably why I'm fucking freaking out. God, Trump doesn't put anybody in a good mood.
Because I can definitely continue.
I'm going to drink water and I'm fine. Go ahead, continue.
The political ads that I saw when I was in Mississippi for Trump were hilarious. There was one that was like, call now because the Democrats are trying to impeach Trump and we need to stop them. Your voice matters. Call now. Call now. Let them know that we will not let this happen or stand for this and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, that's so interesting. I always get a kick out of that. Because everything's different across the country, right?
I don't know.
But I'm
here. Is it?
I don't know what is different.
What happens across the country?
The what I was talking about, all this like formulaic, tailored presentation of people and information and stuff that we consume, it also boils down to us, right? I definitely put on my mask, my front, the thing that I want people to see, even in my everyday interactions. Mm-hmm. And that's another thing that like I'm really, really tired of. And I really, really, really have been doing a wonderful job of not doing, but at the same time, I want to do it more. You know, I just want to be more honest and truthful and vulnerable and real and just like, here it is. And I think we do a good job of that, but for whatever reason, it's feeling more like, I don't know, just more present in my head and in my space and in what I'm thinking about and feeling. And
you have to be perfect in order to be presenting out there to have any value.
Yeah.
Like that's like, I don't think that's what you're saying, but that's what you are saying because you have to put on this face, you say.
Yeah, I think a lot of it right now for me is so we, rolled out bravemendare. I'm consciously aware, like I'm not consciously aware. I'm nervous about the way that it's being perceived out in the world, as well as the way that people are going to perceive me in conjunction with it, and wanting to I want to be very conscious of the way that it's put out there and the way that it is, not the way that it's viewed, because we can't control the way people view it, but at least the way that it's put out there so that it's not so glossy and it's not so formulaic and it's not so, do you know what I mean? Falling into all of these rhythms and patterns that we can see in society and in culture, because I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm having a hard time seeing what that is and how to not do that, because there's a part of my brain that's like, oh, we have to do that in order to gain recognition and acknowledgement and validity. So then people are like, oh, this is a real thing. I mean, it's a real thing, obviously, but like people are like, oh, that's a legitimate real thing, because it looks like all the other quote unquote legitimate real things that are out there. When in reality, it's like, yeah, that's all bullshit. Like, I don't want to, it's not that I don't want to look like other things that are out there. It's that I don't want to paint.
Get lost in the mix.
Yeah, I don't want to paint the fake picture of perfection and glossiness and formulaic, it's literally like pattern recognition. You can look at things and just see the patterns that exist, the way that people present things, the way that people talk about things, the way that people structure things. Do you know what I mean? It's, those things are becoming very, very, very clear to me. The pattern recognition that exists in talking points, in social media posts, in anything that exists, right? We can just see how people are designing and creating the same patterns over and over and over again. And we're all like, unless we can see this pattern, then we're not going to look at that thing or go to that thing or acknowledge that thing. And in my mind, I'm like, all of these patterns that we're using right now are fake. They're not true.
Yeah.
They're very, very just photoshopped experiences and patterns that we have decided this is what we need to do in order to get people to look at our shit or to come to our shit or to buy our shit. And I don't want to sell any of that shit anymore.
I disagree.
Okay, let's hear it.
Yeah. What I think is happening is all those things that we're seeing in the patterns. I think that if you break it down and don't look at it as a whole, which they're totally doing, but if you break it down and you look at the things, I think it's genuine. And I think that the person where it originated from, however, I think they felt that. And I think the people that were sharing that felt that. And I think there's so many of those things, the points that you take, that you move with, that are genuine and beneficial. I think where it gets convoluted and it turns into that bullshit is when it's quantity, not quality. And they're like, oh, I think this resonates. So it's when it's the people pleasing, when they take these genuine things and lump it up into one big binder of the key to your happiness, that it goes to shit. So there's so much that's really good out there, but to be able to discern between taking the whole pile of shit and being like, oh, this is what resonates with me. This is what resonates with me. Feeling like you have to either eat the whole cake instead of just a piece, and they're trying to feed you the whole bakery. We just had some of our things, like some of the things that we've been involved in separately in our own little ventures that we've taken, like learning from other people, and how we completely different spectrums. Like mine's over here, yours is over here, completely different spectrums. And then when we talk about it, it was like, we just learned the same shit. Like, what the hell? Did they go to the same class? It's like very, like, how weird is it that seems very cookie cutter and thrown out there with the same. But I think there's good intention from it. You just have to not eat the whole thing. And that's what I like about what you do, I think. I don't know. You were just going to say something and then I got quiet again.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I don't feel like you're shoving that shit down your throat. And I like that you don't want to fit with that, because you're not going to get the people. It doesn't matter, like, if you've got the numbers. I mean, yeah, that's great, whatever. But that's not why you're doing it. You're doing it for the people that are going to benefit. So when you stay true to what's resonating with you and what you want to put out there, yeah, there's things that are going to get the make it look authentic, which is what it is, because you don't want to like, oh, is this a legit site that I can click on? Yes, it is. You're totally fine. But you don't want to the numbers that you want isn't the mass. Like, it's not the swing states. It's the people that fill that. And you're not going to connect with everybody. And you don't want to not connect with the people that are meant to join with this and that are going to benefit and fill, because it's the pastries that hit everybody else. I can tell because my head's going that you're no longer listening. So I'm getting distracted.
What does that tell you that I'm not listening?
You're not, because you tell me that. Like if my head starts to wander, you're no longer connected. So I'm like, never mind. I lost my train of thought. I'm just going to come back. I like that it's authentic, and I think there's wonderful things out there, and take the pieces. Don't eat the whole thing. Take the pieces that resonate and be willing to change your mind and grow and add.
One of the things that I agree with you and all the things that you said and whatnot. The part that people behind all of this stuff, I think, are good people and have good intentions and are putting their heart and their energy and everything into it. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that they're malicious. I don't think that they're, any of that stuff. I think people are definitely, don't tip off.
Falling off the chair.
This is profound shit, baby. It's gonna make you.
That happened.
No, I think that they're good people, and I think that they have good intentions. And I think everybody who has a message that they're trying to bring to the world or something that they're trying to do to help people, I think they have good intentions.
I think they start with them, definitely.
And I think that the part that I'm really just tired of is how we all think we have to put those messages in the same boxes in order to reach people, because it all looks to me like it's the same boxes. Like if you're selling this thing, this is the box that you put it in. If you're selling that thing, here's the box for that. And there's only like 5 or 6 of these boxes that you have to, like, think about this. So we had to create the Facebook page for Brave Mendare, right? Had to do the same thing for the podcast way back in the day, but you create something like that and they give you a list of options that you can not title it as, because you can call it whatever you want, but like, what category does this fall into? And they're like, here you go. Here's your 15 categories that you get to choose from. And you're like, what? Like, none of these categories work, right? None of this stuff fits. So why are we, first off, why is that even a box that has to be checked? And second off, like, why can't it just be put your own category of whatever you want to call your thing? So then, do you know what I mean? Like, if we're going to have that box to start with, then why do we have to, that's just a really basic example of kind of what I'm talking about, where unless we fit into one of those categories or one of those boxes, then we don't fit. And if you want to reach people, then you have to fit into one of those categories or boxes. And this is how you do that. This is what it looks like, because this is how it's done.
I agree.
I
also think that speaks to something else verbatim, just with a different topic.
Let's hear it.
The pronouns, where you identify.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to check into that box? Just because you say so?
It does. It does. One day when we have a form that we have to fill out when we go to the doctor, it won't be male or female. That box will just be gone.
What?
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not okay at all.
You got super funky during this episode, huh?
Yeah. I don't feel good. I want to keep going. Like, unless I'm shit. If I'm shit and this is going to be a shit episode, then we can totally stop. But
you
if
are
it's
not shit, nor is this a shit episode.
I'm going to keep going.
Let's talk about our stretches for August.
I'm failing. I trust that I'm failing.
I'll go first.
Okay.
So last week we had Mike on the podcast, and he helped in regards to what I was going to be doing. First off, July went really well for me. I embraced all the positive feedback that I got from people and just took it. Just took it. Did not look at it. Did not doubt it, question it, or push it away. I just received all the love and positive feedback. And anytime somebody gave me a compliment in any way, shape, or form, I did the best that I could to receive it. And it felt great. So July's done. And now for the month of August.
Can we still accept
Nope. It's only a July thing. Next July, I will bring that back and receive positive feedback from people.
I'm hiding next July. I'm not participating in July next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, for us, July was a shit month. It's probably going to go down in history as one of the shittiest months that we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And we still managed to give you some fucking episodes of the podcast, so you're welcome. August, what are we? Oh, I'm being vulnerable with you.
With me.
Yes, specifically with my beautiful, amazing wife. I am going to practice open, raw vulnerability with her as often as I can. I was going to tell you this last night. I think sometimes over the course of this month, as I practice this stuff, I got to take a drink because I'm hearing my cotton mouth.
Sorry. It's okay. You had to edit it for your drink. I don't know why my hair caught the mic.
I was going to tell you that I think sometimes over the course of this month, it's going to look fake and it's going to feel inauthentic and not genuine, my vulnerability, because I'm going to be practicing it. And so I think sometimes it's going to look like I'm like, when you're practicing push-ups and you suck and they look like you're doing shitty fake push-ups.
My normal push-up, yes.
That's what it's going to look like sometimes, where it's like, I'm committed to this practice, but I'm tired and I'm not doing a great job. And it's like, it's not that I'm half-assing it, but it's like, it's just not, I have to practice it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. But
I hear you.
Yeah, that's my...
Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, that's my practice stretch.
Practice stretch?
My stretch practice. My pretch.
Your pretch. I still like, I think I'm just going to call it Gumby. Like, I
Gumby.
like the Ep named the one that.
So that's mine for August. Yeah. What's yours, baby?
Well, it kind of sounds a lot like your July one. As you were describing that, I'm like, other than taking compliments, like I'm doing that with everything. So I feel pretty sheepish, pretty following the herd.
It's not like my July stretch at all.
I am, this sucks. It's so hard. And then I'm going to do that thing again where, like, no, I'm not practicing. This is an opportunity. I'm trying. Fuck off stretches. I am struggling with this because I feel like it leaves me open to attack and that I'm not going to be safe if I do this. And it immediately brings my spine out and just like my shoulders are going to come up and like I'm ready, looking around like my little, I think my power stance is probably more like a Pomeranian stall, like fluff. Nothing, just tiny little thing that's like fluffy, thinks it's big. I feel like I'm publicly outing myself. This sucks. It's hard. Okay. I am going to not do what I'm doing right now. What my stretch is finding a way to condense my words and my thoughts, because that'll happen never.
That's not your stretch.
That's not my stretch. I can't do that. It takes me a while to describe milk. So, it's because I think it's so much of it is I think I have to earn the right to be heard. So I think if I can say enough of what I'm feeling and give you enough, then you'll be like, okay, it's okay that you want milk. I see why. You've convinced me that you're worthy of milk. So I think I talk too much just because I think maybe if I can just really explain, then maybe you'll understand and maybe I'll be seen, which is stupid because then I hide. If I talk too much, I'm like, oh, you saw me. Goodbye.
You need an invisibility cloak.
If I had an invisibility cloak, I don't think I would ever come back. I would put it on and I'd be gone.
You just pull your head out every now and then. Boo.
Maybe. Okay, I'd do that. I'd totally do that. I'm supposed to, from after this podcast, after we hit stop is when I'll start. I don't know how to explain it, Craig. I cannot even explain it. I'm supposed to be like, not wait for the other shoe to drop in a sense. not be prepared for, fuck, I don't know. What the fuck is my stretch? I'm irritated. I don't have time to be positive.
I love you so much.
This is hard. I can't believe how hard it is. Like, I am fighting this. I am sitting here like I got my nunchucks out. I'm like, I don't really have those because I'd knock my teeth out or knock myself out if I had a pair. But I have to trust not only other people, and I can already hear my mom, like, you gotta protect yourself, you know. I have to trust other people and I have to trust myself, which means that if you call me and tell me that Prince so-and-so wants to send me $1 million, like, I'm gonna click on that email. Just kidding. I don't like this. Okay. I'm just going to trust. I'm going to be glasses. I'm not already glad. I don't want to talk anymore. Fuck it.
So your practice for the month of August is
I'm going to just
trusting.
masturbate every day. That's what I'm going to do. That's going to be, I'm bringing May back to August, which, by the way, I failed miserably at, so I need to repeat anyways.
Oh, goodness.
That's easier. I will get carpal tunnel from masturbation before I do the stretch.
Trust.
Yeah,
Trust
I'm
what other
supposed to
people say. Trust, other people's intentions. Just trust in stuff and not sit around and wait for the other shoe to drop or...
I don't sit around and wait. I prepare.
Prepare for the other shoe to drop.
I have.
Not trust, not come up with 14 different backup plans because this one is obviously going to fail and their intentions are not truthful. All of that shit. This is the month to practice just trusting that, as well as, more importantly, trusting yourself.
Which is why I have to watch my I love yous. I
trusting
love that you
your
said
intuition, trusting your thoughts, trusting your feelings, trusting that where you are going and where you are heading and the steps that you are taking are in fact the right ones. So that's my beautiful wife's practice and stretch for the month of August. That's her Tom Cruise.
I think today's going to be my cry. I think I'm just going to cry today.
That's good.
I think I'm going to cry all day because I have so much in me right now. I don't know.
You get to practice crying this month too.
Can you
let's call it a Bradley Cooper.
I don't want to cry this month. I don't want to cry the whole month. I'll give myself a day. The month? I don't know. That's July.
Well, you're not going to cry the whole month.
No, I'm going to cry today and then I'm going to say goodbye to July, and I'm going to be happy the rest of the time because July just beat me to death.
Should we call it a Bradley Cooper?
Not literally. See? I lie. That's why I can't trust. I just said it beat me to death. Clearly, that wasn't the truth.
You don't lie.
I need to be
over-exaggerate.
beyond literal. It changed who I am. It took parts out of me that I'll never get back.
That's a little too drastic, too.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I feel it.
For me, the month of July was incredibly hard to feel and move through.
I don't think I'll ever be the same.
It was full of sadness and pain and heartache. But we made it.
Yes. So
We're
I'm going to
here.
cry today and then I'm going to be okay.
Well, I hope you cry tomorrow and the next day, and I hope that you never, ever, ever resist crying again in the rest of your life, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Tears come when they need to and when they want to, and sometimes it's out of nowhere.
Yeah. Sometimes it's not resisting. Sometimes I just can't. I can feel it and I just can't.
Well,
and sometimes I can't stop it.
Crying is something else that takes practice.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you and you're crying. I got your tear practice right here. Okay, baby.
I'm sorry.
Don't be.
This has been an intense one.
You don't have to apologize.
It's okay if you don't air it.
Never apologize. This podcast will see the light of day.
Oh, good.
Thank you for tuning in to another wonderful episode. Next week, stay tuned for Stephanie and I as we discuss further information regarding your heart chakra.
No, well, maybe I should have put some emerald on my chest.
You can find us at the following places. And this episode was brought to you by our wonderful sponsor,
bravemendare.com. and 88 massage. I'm going to do it.
Yes. I love you.
I didn't use my voice. Should we try it again?
The whole episode?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, go.
Let's start over.
Hello.
Hello.
I am
You sound like
Stephanie.
Siri or something.
I sound like Siri?
Yeah. Give me your robot voice.
Hello.
No, that's not it.
What is it? What's my
The
my
way
robot?
that you just said hello in the beginning.
Hello, Craig. Ding, ding, ding. How may I help you today? By the way, I see you playing with your balls. Ha ha. Okay, go. I'm done.
There is a website where you can buy more of those. I love you.
I love you. Take the pieces that resonate and be willing to change your mind and grow and add.
It's like trying to get cows to go in reverse. They're like, what do we do?
Yes, I do want to talk about the power of the orgasm.
Let's do it. I love the healing energy of the citrine because it really beautifully heals the solar plexus. And if you want to connect with abundance for the... Oh my God, shut the fuck up.